Good morning.
Where did they just went anywhere? My computer, it opened up some new parts.
Okay, just so you know, I used to make use that red light, you know, that we're not around. So be careful. That's light movements or.
That's all right, we're just bouncing all.
I was just gonna say that.
Moron.
Last board commission meeting was Tuesday, to approve that council application for economic development administration grant.
All that's
Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is January 18th. It is 9 a.m. We'll call the Board of County Commissioners meeting to order at this time. Commissioner Haas, would you please lead us in the invocation this morning?
Yes, sir. Father, thank you for a week full of promise. Lead us in your ways and fill our hearts with joy. Help us to see others as you see them. Father, we ask that you guide us in every decision and conversation, all for your glory. In Jesus Christ's name,
Amen. Our ladies of the Daughters of the American Revolution are with us. Will you please lead us in the pledge this morning?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. Roll call.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Hess. Here. Commissioner Luis Lopez.
I'm here. Any changes to the agenda?
I'll change the Commissioner, ask the board to remove item 8D. Being consideration of U.S. Economic Development Administration's National Environmental Policy Act, Environmental Narrative.
Entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve the agenda with the recommendation as noted.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess. Yes. Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Consideration of minutes. Item A, special meeting minutes of December 17th, 2021. We've had the opportunity to review. There are no questions or comments at this time or changes in entertaining.
For approval of the special meeting minutes of December 17, 2021.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess. Yes. Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, reading of correspondence, Commissioner Committee reports. Commissioner Haas, would you like to go first this time?
On January 6th, we had a legislative roundtable. The county and the city take turns every other year hosting this event at the Pioneer Room at the college. This valuable meeting is held annually. The county and the city take turns hosting the meeting. Pertinent dialogue is exchanged with congressmen and legislators alike that impacts Los Angeles County and Trinidad. Assistance and information is solicited from all involved for the betterment of our community. On the 10th of January, the New Elk Mine had a project update. Production has been pretty flat, November through December, with their target performance at 60% right now. Housing and COVID being the primary problems that are occurring. The rail, the design is finished. Basic service cleanup and property owner notification and communications are being held at this time, and 3 bridges need significant work for stabilization in the water for those bridges that have the pillars that are in the water. Many of them have to be brought to current standards. On the 13th of January, I attended the Natural Working Land Strategic Plan meeting. This meeting was hosted by the Colorado Department of Ag. Les Owens, Christy Bowen, and Cindy Lair were the presenters. This was the second such meeting with more to follow. These meetings were to address President Biden's administration to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. These meetings are to get common community feedback and topics of discussion revolving around agriculture, urban greenway, wetlands, and riparian areas. Increasing soil carbon, agriculture, and protecting agriculture lands were the primary focus, and food security was also brought to the table. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lopez.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, on the 6th, all 3 of us attended the legislative roundtable discussion. One of the points that we highlighted was the opioid settlement and the opioid pandemic that's happening not only here in Colorado but nationwide. The perspective of where we are right now, the settlement is going on with the Attorney General's office, and Colorado is up to probably receiving a possibility right now, $385 million, with possibility of actually making it $400 million. One of the good things that all 64 counties signed the agreement to join forces with the Attorney General, and that's going to provide possibly the $400 million. One of the most important highlighted perspectives of that meeting was that we had those dollars for 18 consecutive years. So when you take $400 million, population, the distribution, we are now working, I've been working from the beginning with the Attorney General's office and the statewide county commissioners group. The distribution formula is going to be a little complex. It's going to be areas of high impact, which Las Animas County and the southern part of the state are going to be probably getting an additional dollar simply because of the high impact that we have had, along with the population per capita. When they distribute the dollars at this point in time, one of the things that we're hoping to find out is how much is Region 19 going to be receiving. We don't know that. We're in the planification process, and this plan is a 2-year working plan. What we discovered was that for the next 2022, there's not going to be any dollars allocated outside of the $20,000 grant that we applied for and has already been received for the planning and discussion, and basically, in a sense, we have hired someone at Region 19 to begin to help us to put our plan together, so when the monies are there, the dollars can begin to roll. Part of the opioid dollars, one of the things that we want to do is, obviously, we fought and we stood together as counties to take the authority from the legislature. Because the legislature, what they wanted to do is create a special account at the Denver perspective and level, and they wanted to manage the dollars. We worked together, including the Attorney General, agreed with us that these dollars should be given to the counties. So the counties will be getting 60%, basically counties and municipalities, direct allocation of these dollars, because we work at the county level. We, in a sense, know what's happening here. And there is a whole lot more information going on in there. On the 10th of January, we also had a meeting with Region 19. We had a presenter from Powers County, And one of the presentations that we had was the impact of marijuana on school kids. My question from a few years ago, I had an opportunity to attend a national conference in Washington, D.C., and I asked the question, and I keep asking it, is marijuana a gateway drug? And the answer is, could be. Well, we know it is. Because, for me, the perspective is that these individuals that are beginning to get into the use of illicit drugs, even though marijuana is legal in Colorado, and they keep going to the next level and to the next level. So we're going to be looking at that. One of the big perspectives that we're looking also is the behavioral health perspective that is going to happen post-COVID-19 and post-basically settlement of the opioids. Some of the services that we are still lacking is detoxification centers in southern Colorado. If we really want to provide treatment for someone, it could be up to 90 days to get them completely detoxed. And there are so many other factors behaviorally that we need to be working with. But on behalf of Region 19, we are working hard to put a plan together that's going to work for these 9 counties. And obviously, we don't want to duplicate services and distribute the dollars to where the dollars can make the bigger impact. Again, on the 10th of January, I attended a meeting with the Scenic Highway of Legends on the board meeting. One of the things that we're looking at on that particular group is the signage that exists between north Las Animas County coming on I-25 leading up to Highway of Legends. We are, there could be an opportunity to apply for a grant where I'm working with Mr. Dorenkamp to see the possibilities to look into that. Tons of opportunity for signage, perhaps even a charging station on Highway 12, if that would be the case. So we're going to be looking into perspectives of that particular grant opportunity. On the 10th, as Commissioner has also mentioned, climate smart agriculture presented by the Colorado Department of Ag. The feedback in the sessions that these individuals are collecting through the Department of Agriculture is conservation lands and how many more acres can we put on the conservation. Of course, my thing is always taking back, when you take productive lands in a sense off the tax rolls, somebody's going to hurt on the other end, special districts, school districts, fire districts, so on and so forth. But as Commissioner has mentioned, they're collecting information as we go on. The January 12th, I attended a meeting with Fort Carson, the programmatic agreement. And if you haven't had an opportunity, for those of you, go out to Fort Carson and take a look at the website that they have. They have a responsibility to the citizenry to inform any activity that's going on at Piñon Canyon. And so right now there was a huge discussion on this particular meeting between the tribal representatives and Fort Carson based upon some of the designated areas that are archaeologically and historically designated within Fort Carson. So there was, the majority of the meeting was a discussion between those two groups. And but there is a video in there actually providing information and dialogue. One of the points that was made at that particular meeting was that there will be from May to August 2022, perhaps up to 1,200 cadets from the United States Air Force Academy doing training here in Piñon Canyon, and they're going to be coming in groups of 200. The recommendation was made from the tribal representatives to have these individuals to view some of the restrictions that exist within Piñon Canyon before they complete their training. Interesting information. Then, of course, last Friday we had our CCI, Colorado Counties Incorporated board meeting, and at this point in time, we're looking at a different venue for the CCI Winter Conference, because Hotel Elegante Colorado Springs, who used to accommodate the conference, is being sold, and they're going to be using that venue and facility for affordable housing, I believe. So, sir, that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
excuse the construction, everybody. We are going through our renovations here at the courthouse with our windows, our electrical. So if the dust is causing you allergies like it is for me today, we have 100-year-old dust coming out of these windows. Excuse us for that. The 13th this month, I was at our Tura board meeting for the year. We've set the year's meetings and so forth. Pretty much housekeeping for the year for urban renewal. I would like to announce that we do have a budget for facade programs for businesses in the community that can apply to fix the front of their buildings up to, I believe, $10,000. And we're hopeful we have a lot of applicants. Last year we had quite a few, but they weren't shovel ready. That kind of puts it at a standstill. So if you do want to apply for a facade program for your building in the community, please make sure you're really close to getting ready. I think there'd be like a 90-day grace period for you to start your project from the award, the date of the award if you're awarded the grant. So there's also going to be 2 seats on that board, or not, I believe 3 seats coming available. So we're desperately looking, and I'm looking at Ms. Amato here and Mrs. Leonetti, for future board members, but anyone can apply in the city. I get in the county as well. If you live in Los Angeles County, you can apply to the Urban Renewal Board. We are looking forward to fill some seats there for commissioners on that board. Yesterday morning, I had my Otero Partners Incorporated meeting for the first one of the year, which is the same thing, a lot of housekeeping, setting the board of directors and the chair, vice chair, and secretary treasurer. I've been named as secretary treasurer again for the 5th year. And we have $175,000 available for loans to small businesses in Los Animas and Otero County at this time. We have 9 applicants for loans in the communities between the 2 of us. I believe 3 or 4 are in Los Animas County for small businesses. So that is great news to hear that we're getting applicants from our community to go for these small business loans that Otero Partners Incorporated is afforded to loan out in the form of a CDBG grant, and we move forward with that, helping our local community. It's to create jobs, and it helps a lot for our small businesses that can't get traditional funding at a low interest rate up to about 4%. Tomorrow night I have the Board of Health meeting, and I'll report on that next week after we have that, and that's all I have for today for you. We'll move on to public comment. Do we have anybody signed up? Dr. Paul? Nobody signed up? Nobody on the call today for public comment? If you do, we'll give you 3 minutes. Not hearing any. We have a special presentation this morning with our Veteran Service Officer, Mr. Ray Odom, receiving the Good Citizens Award. Mr. Odom, would you please come up?
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for having me here this morning. Today is a good day. It's a good opportunity to present some awards to some really good citizens in Los Angeles County who's done some outstanding things for our veteran community and just our community in general. These citizens, they don't ask for anything. The thing is this is something that I think is really important for our community, to let the community know what these citizens do, and just to put it out there and say thank you. But on behalf of the Veteran Service Officer, the commissioners, and all the veterans, I want to thank you. First person I have is would be Linda Scott. Could you please come up? I want to say a little something about Linda. Linda, this was before COVID even happened. She's been making blankets, and these are lap blankets that she gives to me, and we take them and we give them to the nursing homes. And I'm telling you, the feedback that I get back from the nursing homes, I can't explain it. They're so happy, and they tell me that those veterans sit there with those blankets on their lap, they fold them back up, put them on the end of their bed. So Linda, I just want to thank you, and I know, you always said, hey, Ray, I don't want no recognition, but hey, you deserve this, and honestly, thank you on behalf of the community and all the veterans and the commissioners. This plaque says, Los Animas County, Colorado, presented to Linda D. Scott. This was in 2021 in recognition and appreciation for your community service to all veterans. Thank you, Los Animas County Veterans Service Office. Let's see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And next, we have the Daughters of American Revolution. Could you ladies please come up? So these ladies have been there thick and thin through everything I've done. That's dealing with the Korean War ceremony, the Vietnam ceremony, just help setting up things. They've never asked for anything. They always volunteer, say, Ray, what you got going on? How can we help? And they even use some of their own stuff to help us get things through over there at Fort Wood. And I'm telling you, it's not me, it's because of you and all the support and volunteers that we get to make things happen in this community, dealing with veterans, because I can't do it by myself. So again, I want to thank you, and this is on behalf of me, the veterans, and the commissioners. We want to thank you again. So this is presented to the Santa Fe Jail Chapter, Daughters of American Revolution. The region commander was Rose P. Holman, 2021, in recognition and appreciation for your community service to all veterans. Thank you, and thank you. Here we go. Commissioners, thank you again.
Let's get a picture of all of you guys up front here with us. Linda, come on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Excuse me. We all did. No, those are the chiefs right there.
Smile, Ray.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I almost wish we had coffee and donuts for a little reception for you ladies.
We're headed to Nebraska tomorrow, so thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. And if you feel free to stay with us the meeting, please welcome, or feel free to leave at any time. We move forward here with our elected officials updates. Since we have Mrs. Lee and Eddie in the room, and Mr. Mott, we'll allow you guys to go first if you have the updates. And Mr. Messis.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Don. No, well.
Ms. Mott.
Okay. Good morning, gentlemen. Jody Mott, Los Angeles County Assessor. The only update I have is what is on your agenda for later, so I'll save that till then. Other than that, we're rolling forward with our January duties and just trying to continue to serve the public. And I can tell you, we're graciously awaiting our windows if this wind would ever quit blowing.
Thank you, Mr. Motto. Mr. Mestis.
Good morning, everybody. We've got a new voter precinct thing going on, and we'll get to that on the agenda a little bit later. The one thing since the last meeting that I want to update you on is the completion of our Phase 3 digitization. We now have maps available on our historic research site, so people can go on and get plat maps on there too. So that's the final phase, and our office is completely digitized with all our records. So that's
And they can pay online to receive those?
the maps they do print out in a PDF form.
Awesome.
So not only are they able to get documents on both their sites, but they can get plat maps too now. So
And has that information been passed on to our local abstract companies so they can pass that on?
that has, and we're sending it out
Okay.
as new people contact us. But the word's getting out. More people are using our historic research site as they become aware of it. We're promoting it.
A little more convenient for the customer.
It really is, everything's available digitally, so it's a great thing. And again, more people are using it as they learn about it, and we're promoting it as we go.
And just to refresh the memory of the community, that was all purchased by a grant?
It was, right, several grants, just under $400,000, so not a penny was from tax money, it was from grants, so absolutely, we're proud of that and happy about it. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Messis.
Thank you.
Sheriff Navarrete, are you on the call this morning? I think I saw you.
Good morning, Commissioners. No updates today, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. And I don't think we have anyone from our District Attorney's Office, our surveyor, or our coroner. Move on with new business. Item 8A, consideration of Trinidad Ambulance District renewal. Mr. Norton.
Commissioners, annually, each of the ambulance districts within Los Animas County submit renewal forms to the board. And in front of you is Trinidad Ambulance's submittal.
Thank you.
And I believe they have a representative online if they wish to add anything to that, or if there's any questions.
We have a representative from the Evans District on the call. Like to make any comments today?
No, just typical annual. No comments.
Thank you, Mr. Moynihan. If there are no other questions or concerns from the board, will entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve the Trinidad Ambulance District's license renewal.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Moynihan, for being on the call today.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item B, consideration of resolution 22-010, reappointing Raymond Odom as Los Angeles County Veterans Service Officer. Mr. Dorkin, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, appointing a Veteran Service Officer for Los Angeles County, Colorado for the term of 2022-2024. Resolution 22-101, whereas pursuant to CRS 28-5-801, it is the duty of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County to establish a County Veteran Service Office and to appoint a County Veteran Service Officer for a 2-year term, who shall be charged with responsibility for providing assistance to veterans of military service residing in Los Angeles County, and whereas pursuant to CRS 28-5-802, a County Veteran Service Officer must be a resident of the state of Colorado, shall have served in the United States Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard, or any auxiliary branch thereof, and such appointee must be well qualified based on education and experience to perform the duties of County Veteran Service Officer, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners sought the advice and counsel of local veterans in Los Angeles County in consideration of the appointment of County Veteran Service Officers. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that Mr. Raymond Odom is hereby appointed as the Los Angeles County Veteran Service Officer for a term beginning January 4, 2022 and ending January 4, 2024. On the motion made and seconded, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 18th day of January 2022, followed by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines. And Commissioners, I'd also like to add to that is that County Administrative Assistant Paul Lucero did submit requests via public and publications and everything else as required, and Mr. Odom was the only one who submitted a letter requesting to be considered for Veteran Service Officer.
Thank you. Before I'll entertain a motion, I'd like to just make a couple comments regarding this particular office and thank Mr. Odom for all of his efforts he's done for this community. Just like the rest of our fine-tuned staff that we've come to realize we've had here in Los Angeles County for a long time, from our road and bridge to our elected officials' offices. This is just another avenue of a great support service we have for our Los Angeles County citizens. Mr. Ray Odom, what he's done for this community, it's just another addition to the great staff that we have here in Los Angeles County. I'd like to thank him and thank all of our staff, but especially today for Mr. Odom, thank him for being part of this community. At this point, we'll entertain a motion, please.
It's my honor to move that the resolution 22-010 reappointing Ray Odom as Los Angeles County Veteran Service Officer.
I second that motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Odom. I think he left. Back to work, see? Item C, consideration of resolution 22-011, clerk and recorder amendment to update the precinct boundaries. Mr. Mestis.
Again, so we have updated the precincts to reflect 7 precincts as opposed to prior 16, which was from another time when, really even the state's opinion was there was just too many to begin with. So we've got 7 meaningful precincts, on each under 2,000 voters. And so that is what we're presenting.
Before we formalize this resolution, will the voters be notified what precinct they are in now? How will they be notified? Will it come on their ballots? How will that get notified? Because I've always been precinct 14 forever for myself. How does that change now, or is it even necessary that they're notified?
The state hasn't informed me of anything that will go out directly to the public, but if anybody has any questions, we can print out a voter registration form. We do have maps. I've got a larger copy here if anybody wants to see it. I can pull it out. Once this is complete, pretty much once you approve the resolution, I send that in with the shape file to the state. Then they give me authorization to go in and start doing the work. Once the work is done, we will actually give both political parties a new data file with voters and maps, and of course that will be in our registration system. So, I mean, it doesn't directly impact anybody.
Those questions were going to come. So
yeah.
One of the recommendations I'd like to make to your office is to do a press release, and even though the expense is going to be there, provide a map that would actually identify those precincts to begin the informational session, because a lot of the citizens that may live in the outlying areas may or may not, and then also let's put it on the website so they can see exactly what precinct, because at the end of the day, this 2022 is going to be a very pivotal election year. People, the last thing we want to do is, well, I didn't know, I went here and I went there. So, and I would even go into providing information through, and I don't know if you can, through the school districts, through the college, through any type of information that we can get the chamber. Let's disseminate this information to all. So at the end of the day, it's pretty clear that the boundaries have changed.
Yeah, we will get that out. The whole thing with it being mail ballot, it shouldn't affect anybody as to, they don't have to go to a polling place or anything like that. So, and again, with this work needs to be done before the caucuses, so that's why, we'll give the parties new lists and updated maps as well, just as soon as I'm done with the work.
So the caucus is in March or
March 7th, I believe, yeah. Plus two, I'm on call for both parties throughout their timeline of their caucus. I'm always available with my laptop and a phone that both parties can contact me for any verification beyond what they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Mess's office?
Just one, Commissioners, I believe this is required via statute, as is the redrawing of the commissioners' boundaries after the census of every 10 years. So that's why the precincts are being redrawn, as will your boundaries, not yours, but as the commissioners' boundaries will be later this summer.
Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, please read the resolution.
Resolution, Board of County Commissioners, Los Angeles County, Colorado, amending and updating precincts for the conduct of elections within Los Angeles County, Colorado. Resolution number 22-011. Whereas Los Angeles County Clerk and Recorder is designated as an elected official responsible for the conduct of the elections held in Los Angeles County, Colorado, in conformance with the Colorado Election Code. Whereas Los Angeles County Clerk and Recorder desires to amend and update the boundaries of precincts, and whereas Los Angeles County Clerk and Recorder's amended and updated precincts and active voter counts are as follows as of this resolution's signature date. Precinct 1, 1,115 active voters. Precinct 2, 1,764 active voters. Precinct 3, 1,811 active voters. Precinct 4, 1,186 active voters. Precinct 5, 1,057 active voters. Precinct 6, 1,591 active voters. Precinct 7, 1,321 active voters. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that 1, the Board of County Commissioners hereby endorses and approves the request of Los Angeles County Clerk and Recorder Patricia M. B. Hill to amend and update the precincts boundaries within Los Angeles County, Colorado, as reflected in the voter precinct maps attached here to a part hereof, as if fully set out in the body of this resolution. 2, be it further resolved that the Board of County Commissioners hereby endorses and approves the description of all voting precincts 1 through 7, inclusive within Los Angeles County, Colorado, as submitted by Los Angeles County Clerk and Recorder Patricia M. B. Hill, effective as of this resolution signature date. Upon motion made and seconded and affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 18th day of January 2022. Board of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature on this.
Entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve resolution 22-011, clerk and recorder's amendment and updating of precinct boundaries.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Messes. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Item E, consideration of permit extension for resolution 21-017, Spanish Peak Solar. I believe, is that why you're here, Mr. Lucero?
Yeah, I'm not sure if David Kimmich might be on there.
I believe he is.
David, are you on the call, sir?
Yes.
I am, yeah. Thank you, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great, yeah. Nice to see everyone. Nice to see you, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Haas. We presented our conditional use permit, special use permit case in April of 2021. And owing to well-known changes in the supply chain dynamics that have been happening across not just the solar industry, but across America and many different industries, it's taking more time than what we had anticipated to acquire the necessary materials to start the project. So as a part of Los Angeles County land use regulations, we have to obtain a building permit within 1 year of our formal approval of our special use permit. And that's just, frankly, unfortunately not going to happen. We'll be able to obtain the building permit by April of this year. So I'm asking for an extension for Spanish Peak Solar so that we can have that additional time in order to bring this important project to fruition.
Okay, thank you, David. Mr. Lucero, are there any issues that you see with allowing this permit to be extended at this time? And could you give the board some sort of information on how this moves forward?
Yeah. No, I don't see a problem with it. I had talked to Mr. Kimmon several times, just because of the nationwide delay in getting material. His application is good from April, unless he, if he doesn't get started, then he's required to get an extension on it. So he may be able to get it, but he wants to be on the safe side and just go ahead and request an extension on it, but for the permit, which is I'm in agreement with that.
And the planning commission has no issues with?
No, this is more handled more by you guys as an extension on the resolution.
Since it was already approved,
Yeah.
it's an extension of that approval. Okay.
Mr. Rosario, what is the extension would be for an additional 12 months?
For another year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from the date of April or from today's date?
It'd be from the date of April.
April, okay. Any other questions or concerns for Mr. Lucero or Mr. Kimmett? We entertain a motion, please.
Move for approval of the permit extension for Resolution 21-017, Spanish Peak Solar.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Have a great one.
Item F, consideration of Terry Stokes Airport Planning Grant Application Letter. Mr. Larkin.
Commissioners, we are in the process of applying for a grant to try and match funding the county budget, $25,000, and we're going after $25,000 of a planning grant the Department of Local Affairs administers. As part of that application, there needs to be a letter submitted that's signed by the Board of County Commissioners, along with some financial information. County Finance Director Christy Colbert has already forwarded that financial information to me, and this is the letter that I'd like the board to consider and approve, so we can go after those fundings to try and establish at least the groundwork, the planning stages for an industrial park out at the airport.
Okay. Do we have any questions or concerns for Mr. Larkin? Entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve the Terry Stokes Airport Planning Grant application letter.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Item G, consideration of designating CHP rep and alternate and contact person for billing and changes. Mr. Larkin.
Commissioners, annually, the county needs to designate a representative and an alternate for the county health pool board. Before you is that consideration. Commissioner Hass has been the representative in the past, and Kim Chavez has been our
Alternate.
alternate.
Well, I appreciate you doing this for us, Commissioner Hass, and if you feel the need to want to continue on, I would be proud to nominate you and you, Kim.
I was just elected as vice chair of the county health pool, and I think it would be pertinent to have Tim as an alternate.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
No, I think, Commissioner Hess has been serving as the face of not only San Luis County, but San Luis County, but Southern Colorado. So thank you for all the work that you did.
We'll entertain a motion at this time.
Yes. I move to designate CHP representative and alternate and contact person for billing and changes. Nominate Commissioner Tony Hass. And alternate Ms. Kim Chavez.
Second.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Proudly, yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you both for your service. Appreciate it. Item H, consideration of Fisher's Peak Economic and Recreational Impact Study consultant THK's agreement. Mr. Larkin.
Commissioners, at one of your prior meetings, the board approved going into the services or tying into the services of THK Consulting Group for the impact, the economic and recreational impact study that's been taking place because of the Fisher's Peak opening, etc. And in front of you now is the actual contract, the actual agreement that the board needs to consider.
Thank you, Mr. Dorncamp. Counselor, do you have any questions or concerns with this agreement?
No, I reviewed the agreement as it stands now. There's no concerns.
Do we have any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion, please.
Well, for approval of Fisher Peak Economic and Recreation Impact Study Consultant THK's agreement.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Item I, consideration of fourth quarter public trustee report. Mrs. Leonard, do you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Nothing? No questions or concerns from the board. We'll entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve the fourth quarter public trustee report.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes, thank you, Mr. McDaniel.
Thank you.
Item J, consideration of floodplain risk mapping assessment and planning project memorandum of agreement. Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioners, before this memorandum of agreement, the board is, I'd like the board to consider developing a risk mapping assessment and planning map. The consulting group has been brought on, I believe, by the state, the feds, through different sources of funding to revamp our floodplain maps. And this memorandum of agreement is our portion of signing off on those upgrades, updates.
Now, is this the report that will go to a local, who would administer this there? For building trades or building?
It will go to insurance companies, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Searle, but it goes to our insurance companies and other people that have interest in floodplains, et cetera. So
The reason I ask is, are there any current building proposals being done in this floodplain, and has this changed much? It's going to affect any of these future sites if they're already under construction?
At this time, no, there's not many. Basically, what they're doing is updating a lot of number of streams in the area. They probably haven't been updated since, I think, 1980.
Because I tell you, the one that comes between our properties down there,
yeah.
Well,
and it did come at a good time because we mentioned a lot of these streams that did flood. I had mentioned one up in Great Creek. I don't know if you guys remember when the train ran up there. There's a monitor up there, and apparently that monitor was shut off at that time. So basically, they're updating something that probably should have been done a long time ago.
And the recent flood that we had this summer, it almost took that track out again.
Yeah, and I did mention that in our discussion with Phil. I did bring that up. So these are a lot of these streams are going to be some were added to be studied. Some are going to go back and restudy them because of history of flooding in the area.
I don't see a map of it here, though. San Miguel Canyon.
It will be, I think.
So, Mr. Lucero, on this detailed flood study will commence, is there a time window that they have to complete that flood study for the
I think it goes on for a couple of years. I think, I'm not sure.
yeah, that's my understanding. Is it's going to be a pretty in-depth study, so it's going to take quite a while for them to go through all the historic records and looking at the new flows and the new stream channel, the locations of the channels versus what they were, as Bob said, in 1980.
And they work with they're working with the town of Oakdale, the town of Starkville, all the different municipalities.
So when in the contract, it's specifically says this plan will identify community responsibilities, that's
Cokeville, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay. And then, you know, my last highlighted perspective and portion that I have here as a question is does the county, by us, and I know we have to support this because it's the county that has this, do we have any way of communicating this information to all the residents? Because with the last floods that we had on the last summer, it might have created a different kind of a flood danger. Yeah, a flood pattern. Is that even for current residences? Would we be informing those communities? And
Well, yeah, we'll have floodplain maps for the entire county, but Cokeville will probably get their own set.
because they're already set up.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have floodplain maps in our office. If somebody's wanting to do, considering a development, they come in and take a look at those. So, and then if it is in floodplain, then they need to take that into consideration when an engineer is designing it. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Lucero. There are no other questions or comments, so entertain a motion, please.
Move for approval of the floodplain risk mapping assessment and planning project memorandum of agreement.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Petey still says?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lee still says?
Yes. Item K, consideration of resolution 22-012, correcting certification of mill levy for 2022 property taxes. Please give some comment here, Mr. Motto.
Good morning, gentlemen. This was a joint effort, and I'm very grateful, and I can tell you the Kim School District, their superintendent sends his thanks and his appreciation for us being able to correct this mistake. Our county treasurer was doing her due diligence, thank heavens, and had noticed on the certification that last year there was a bond levy for that school district, and this year there was not. So because she is so careful in compiling her tax roll, she called, and that is when it was brought to our attention that that school district failed to put on their certification form that was submitted to commissioners their bond. The school district board themselves had approved it. It was an oversight and a mistake that it did not make it to the form that was presented to you gentlemen when you're seated in December to certify levies. So then I started, Donna and Christy called me. I started reaching out to the Department of Taxation, other assessors. Nobody has had this situation in this specific situation arise. So that's when I reached out to County Attorney Ms. Nelson and said, how can we correct this? Because at this point, as the county assessor, my job is to make sure that every taxing entity gets a fair and equitable certification, valuation, and that the tax roll is correct to the best of our knowledge. That way they can perform the services that they need. Educating our kids, in my opinion, comes at the top of my list. So I was very grateful with the work of all of us and all these great minds that we were able to find a solution to this problem. At this point, we had not generated or printed tax bills. It's going to cause a little bit of work for the next couple days for Donna and I, but we're more than willing to do that. So no harm was done to any entity, to the county, to anybody. So we were able to receive the correct certification. I believe Ms. Nelson wrote a resolution, and if you gentlemen will approve it, we will get to work doing our jobs.
Thank you, Mrs. Amato. Thank you, Ms. Leonetti. Do you have any questions or concerns for Ms. Amato?
No, good job, Donna, for being so thorough.
The only bad thing is tax notices are going to probably be late again.
But hopefully today I will get my side tax roll rerun. I'm just waiting on your certification, your stamp of approval. And all it was, their original mill levy that they certified was 20.061. They left off their bond redemption, which is 9.3 mils. So it'll bring their total mill levy to 29.361. And ensure that they have the money collected so they can pay their bond for the new school that was built years ago.
Right.
Good job, Team Los Angeles County.
Thank you.
Keep bragging about these organizations we got, these leaders.
And thanks County Attorney Nelson for drafting this resolution from scratch since there was no template.
I had to thank Pam because I think I kind of caught her off guard when I made that phone call.
This just goes to show that how much this community and our elected officials care for our schools, especially this small school, one of our smallest out in our community, and Ms. Nelson for putting this together and all of our team for doing this. So without further ado, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, correcting the certification of mill levies for all taxing entities within Los Angeles County for fiscal year 2022. Resolution 22-012. Whereas on December 17, 2021, the Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners granted the board imprint pursuant to CRS 39-1-111, certified and levied against the valuation for assessment of all taxable property located in the county on the assessment date, the requisite property taxes for all purposes required by law, and whereas the Kim School District, the district imprint located within the county, timely but inaccurately certified to the board their property tax levies for fiscal year 2022, and whereas on December 17, 2021, the property tax for fiscal year 2022 certified and levied by the board in accordance with CRS 39-1-111 did not include a portion of the property tax levy for the district, as it was erroneously omitted from the district certification of mill levies, more specifically the HB 20-1418 net mill levy, and whereas the omission was a Scrivener's thank you, error, and was not done intentionally by the district, and whereas on January 14, 2022, the district submitted their corrected certification of mill levies, which included the amount for House Bill 20-1418 net mill levy, and whereas the board desires to correct the levy for fiscal year 2022 property taxes and certify such levies to the assessor non-pro-tunct to December 17, 2021. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that 1, there shall be in there is hereby levied against all taxable property, real, personal, and mixed, tangible and intangible, not exempt by law within the boundaries of the county. The taxes listed on Exhibit A attached here to and incorporated herein. 2, the levy certification is entered not pro-tunct to December 17, 2021 is hereby certified for the assessor. On a motion made and seconded and affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted 16th of January 2022 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature.
Thank you. Entertain a motion, please.
Thank you so much for all the work, and this is something that, the early question was, has anybody been through this? So I think now San Luis County has case law for other counties should they ever need it. So thank you so much to both of you. I move to approve Resolution 22-012, correcting certification of mill levy for 2022 property taxes.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes, and after hearing Mr. Dornkamp read that lawful resolution, I think he should apply for his law license. Almost there.
There's several English words, these Latin words that are thrown in communication.
Not a pro-tunct, right?
Right. Thank you, everybody. Moving on, financial matters. Consideration of bills and payroll for the first half, January 2022. I don't know when Ms. Colby on the call.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Payroll as of January 15, 2022 is $187,488.46. Any questions on payroll?
I can see the increase already. Thank you so much for the new payroll increases, so much appreciated.
Okay.
Yes.
Bills paid on January 5th, 2022, $1,145,368.98. Within this packet, we had a lot of 2022 dues that were paid. Our CAP insurance, or comp insurance, CAP was, let's see, CAP was $419,668.99. Workman's comp was $190,778. Also in here, we made our first payment to the courthouse project for windows and the electrical for $477,994. Bills paid on January 12th was $85,066.98. In here was a payment to the EDA grant. I think that was a study for the engineering, I think, Bill, correct?
That's correct. It was a preliminary engineering report that's required for that grant.
And then we also paid for a study, I think, for the FAA grant for $2,400. And that's all I have.
Thank you for highlighting those. That really comes in handy, Christie.
Sure, you're welcome.
We have any comments or questions, concerns? Entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval of bills and payroll for the first half of January 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes, and at this time, we need to make a motion to suspend this meeting and with a 5-minute or 10-minute recess so we can start our Board of County Commissioners acting in the capacity of Board of Human Services.
I'll make a motion to suspend the Board of County Commissioners' regular meeting and take a 5-minute recess and resume onto the DHS meeting.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes. Give